Good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 193 in A Course in Miracles. It says, all things are lessons God would have me learn. So it talks about how God doesn't have perception, this idea of perception, but we do. And there's something about how it says, okay, I'm just going to read it. God does not perceive it all, yet it is He who gives the means by which perception is made true and beautiful enough to let the light of heaven shine upon it. So get rid of all the God, He, heaven stuff. And what I take it, what I get from it is something I love experiencing. So, which is, I think about this a lot. So what feels good in the body is the transition state out of pain into comfort. And it's that transition. It's the contrast between two things that gets our attention and that we notice. So it's like, if we're in constant pain all the time or constant comfort all the time, there's no sense of relief. If you're in constant, obviously in constant pain, but if you're in constant comfort all the time, meaning comfort from like the physical, but also the mental, emotional, where you're just sort of in this equanimous state, everything is peachy. It's like, well, after a certain point, it's like, what's going on here? It's comfortable in the sense there's no pain, but it's not this realization of peace that comes in when moving from one state to another. So I thought about that when it said, which perception is made true and beautiful enough to let the light of heaven shine upon it, because it talks about our perceptions are really kind of like the way we think into the world, like the way we see the world, and it's through thoughts. So we have a perception, and I think about how it says, like, it's to our, like, what God does apparently. It's like a gift of the universe, whatever God is to you. To me, it's like, again, creation energy, so I don't personify it. And I think about how, like, how do I put it into words? That it's kind of like whatever that is, that transition state that feels good is like a gift. So we come in, we have these perceptions, all of this thought stuff that keeps us all angsty and like in suffering, basically. And then the gift is that this light of heaven, which is really just this sense of peace. Like, there's no problem here. All the tension in the body leaves. It's comfort, it's peace, it can be joy. And that's like, if there is a God, then the gift is, okay, we're going to give you this ability to perceive, this ability to judge, to think, to like get all wrapped up in it. And then the other gift is that can go away. And you can feel this immense relief and even joy. Well, they're both kind of gifts. The gift to get all wrapped up in it and the gift to let it go. If we'd never been given the gift of all this thought stuff, then we would just be in this like sameness always. And I'm not saying it's not good, because a lot of us are like, this pathless path is taking us more and more into that space of like less and less thought stuff, more and more I don't know if it'll ever be 100% but if it is, I have to imagine at some point I'd be like, man, give me some thoughts, give me some stuff to get about, so that I can then come back into peace. Now that I know how the mechanism works, I can get there faster. So, and I feel like as humans, I think about this a lot, we're always searching out like this novelty, the newness of experience, difference. Like you, even down, like I see those things pop up on social media, there's spot the difference between these two images. We love those. We love saying, ooh, that's different, that's different. We love contrast. It's like built into us. From a survival perspective, I'm sure, like we had to be able to look out at a landscape and see what's different as a threat detection, right? So it's like baked into us that it feels good to detect differences. Like that's why we form like, okay, this, not that, that, not this. So it's like not to be felt bad about that we do that we have this judging mechanism. I think part of the journey is to know how to work with it instead of be held captive by it. And part of that is realizing what it takes to let that light of heaven in, which is just like letting this go, quieting this, and letting the peace kind of come into the body and mind and emotions, all of that. So that's what this lesson made me think of. It probably isn't even about that, because it's like one of the things says forgive and you will see this differently. So like when I come into that, it says forgive, and then your perception will change. Well, forgive is accept. So yeah, that's kind of what this is about. Like once you, so how to make that leap, that transition from to is to accept. Just accept this is what's happening right now. Like obviously if there's something to be done about it, you'd rise up and do it. But if there's nothing to be done, then it's like, okay, well, I just accept this is happening. I'm gonna go into it instead of like resist it, hopefully. And then it changes. And so that's kind of that perception shifts once we actually stay with something and we're able to sit with in the discomfort. And then we're like, wait a minute, there is more spaciousness here, even amidst the pain, the discomfort. I feel like, oh, there's more, like a weird, like it feels visceral in a way, and then we know it's not tangible at all. Like it's this space that opens up in the midst of the experience that then it triggers the mind to say, oh yeah, this isn't so bad. It changes if I just give it a moment. And so that's coming into the acceptances. I think acceptance first starts then with being able to sit in the discomfort. If we can't even sit in the discomfort, we won't be any closer to acceptance, I don't think. Oh man, I was just like trying to remember a quote somebody said yesterday that I meant to write down. It is such a faint whisper of a memory that I'm not gonna get it, so I'm not even gonna try. Maybe it'll come back to me. But it was kind of along those lines. Yeah, it's gone. So that was lesson 193. I liked it. Bye.